Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have first war of the new season and we drew for Loki, and I don't record all or too many of my wars just because they are so heavy with Quake gameplay typically, but this time I'm gonna get in a couple of decent and good fights with Nick Fury as well. So my team is Nick Fury, Quake and Black Widow for synergy, because that Black Widow synergy lets me fight Dominoes extremely easy. So since it is kind of like the beginning of the season, I really don't want to mess up. We're going to be boosting up quite a bit and going up against this rank 3 6-star Domino. I'll be absolutely honest, initially when I went in this fight, I didn't even realize it's a rank 3. I just noticed that she's surprisingly lively and is not going down as quick. But that being said, I just kind of like checked it after the fight whilst I was fighting. I actually had no idea it's a rank 3. But anyways, the Domino fight is not kind of like too tricky if you have done it before. It's basically just do not dex. Instead of trying to dex, just tap that block button instead. And yeah, because we do not want to trigger Spite here, and that is the game plan. We're basically going to be playing heavy and then block only. Obviously Domino has some projectile attacks and you cannot always stun her with your parries, but still it typically works out relatively okay. And here we can see that a minute in a fight, typically this fight should have been over already. Now I know I'm not running Suicide Masteries, therefore I could have increased my damage by quite a bit, but I did put some boosts on and even with that it is taking a while. It's much longer than it typically would be. And yeah, somewhere at that point I realized it's probably a rank 3, isn't it? But oh well, the fight is nearly over at that point. We're still perfectly healthy at 94%, so we haven't taken too much chip damage either. Our stuns are certainly helping. We haven't triggered Spite once, and the fight is over a minute and a half. So it wasn't too bad, and this could potentially be my first rank 3 champion I took in war like ever. Certainly the first rank 3 Domino I went up against. And next fight we're gonna be going up against Nick Fury, and this time I'm bringing in my rank 3. Luckily for me, it turned out that this Nick Fury has suicides, but even if it didn't, I doubt it would have changed too much, just because Nick Fury versus Nick Fury violence on this node is something I do quite often, and I'm relatively used to it. Now I do mess up sometimes. I have died to that fight as well a couple of times, typically not too important wars, but the base idea is you just kind of try and be careful, not trigger Spite too much. You much rather push Nick Fury to the level 3 and rely on the extra health Nick Fury has, because you basically kind of have 2 health pools to finish out the fight in the end, nail in a couple of intercepts if you must. But it's not kind of like the hardest fight in my opinion, and I certainly prefer using Nick Fury against Nick Furies on this node, dealing with that aspect of war and what have you, just because it gives you more health to work with in case you mess up, and if you do mess up, your damage output goes through the roof afterwards as well. And next, this is already the next morning, and I am on path 3. Now I don't often take path 3. I think it has biohazard on it or something, but I just know that I could Quake these guys, so that's what I'm gonna do. And here we're gonna be going up against Pandem and Pete, so hey Panda, let me bully your wasp a bit. And obviously shout out to Enzo Eigen as well, who's Nick Fury I fought just prior to that. Now it also seems that both the YouTubers that I am fighting in this war placed with Suicide Mastery, so they clearly didn't take this war too serious, and that's all good. Still, I have a job to do, which is to clear my lane, and in this case, first we have to go through Wasp, and next one is going to be a Nova. And I have never fought against Nova with Quake, to be fair, because the monthly event quest, when it came out, I pretty much always used Ronin, and I hadn't met Nova on any of the nodes in Alliance or previous to this encounter, so that is certainly going to be the first. Now I had tried it a bit, I think, and I knew that Quake's concussion prevents him from gaining power. So as long as he wasn't debuff immune, I should be fine. That was about the extent of knowledge. Now I checked out that node also has backup recovery, which could be troublesome if I don't have active concussion. At the time he breaches 50% bar power, but if he has active concussion, then backup recovery will make sure he simply regens some health. Now, I did make a mistake there, and boy, he did hit hard. I immediately lost over 50% of my health, so at this point I got a bit worried. The fight isn't hard, it is just me being sloppy at that point, and I also got a bit tilted, and yeah, I got a bit nervous, to be fair, but it's fine. We are playing Quake, we do that a lot, and it should work out fine, right? Right, yes. And yeah, so here Noah is at 15%. He also has Suicide Masteries active because it's Enzo again, and another set of concussions, and the fight is over. And that was pretty much me done for section 2. The Sentinel and Dr. Octopus, I could have taken either one of those matchups with Quake as well, but next time I checked War, they were both clear, so there was no need in particular for me. And then I'm just gonna have a couple of mini bosses to deal with. So since these are mini bosses, but the war is pretty much already decided at this point, we will win. Actually, the war is still going on at the time I'm doing this voiceover, but yeah, we got this one in the bag. So either way, I was asked to deal with Dreamin34. So again, shout out to Dreamin. He also has a YouTube channel, and he has Mr. Sinister on this, I believe, Dismay node and debuff immune node. But we're just going to bring in Quake and ignore everything. Okay, I can't stand him, but other than that, we don't care in particular. Now, it is going to take us a while because we do not have Suicides active still, and obviously if AI is aggressive and stun immune, that means that we cannot stack as many aftershock charges and we do not deal as much damage. Additionally, obviously, it's still Siphon Wars, so every kind of like blocked hit triggers the Siphon, and I would take a lot of damage if I tried to block a lot of hits. I will make some slip-ups here and there. I might be a bit rusty as well because we haven't taken the war too serious for a while, but all in all, it's going quite well. So 2 minutes in, 2 minutes left on the clock. He's at 60%, so we did 40% damage in the first minute, so that tells me that I'm going to have enough time, even without Suicide Masteries, even without larger boosts, because we only have the small attack boost and small champion boost active, so I have 20% boost basically on. And yeah, slowly but surely the Mr. Sinister is going down. He does catch me on my block now and then, but again, as I said, it's just because I kind of need to get back in the groove and practice Quake a bit more. And after this fight, we will have another one, and that is going to be against Killmonger on Kinetic Reactor Mini. Now, typically, I do not get to fight that mini-boss. Most of the time, I end up clearing the right-side mini-bosses, and we're going to be using Nick Fury for that fight. So I figured I might as well try and record it for you guys, and since this is the first war of season, it would just be nice, cool, and appropriate for me to upload this war as well, especially because it's for Loki, and I could give some shout-outs out for the guys. And just like that, this fight is closing to an end. He is at 19%. We have a set of Aftershock trigger, leaving him at 11%. Now at this point, he's in Assassin's range. I only have 1 point in Assassin's Mastery, but still, it's a 20% increase with the 1 point as well. And yeah, so 6% remaining. He is being aggressive. He doesn't want to go down without a fight, but obviously he's not really going to manage to inflict enough damage on us to bring Quake down. So 1% and he drops. So the fight is over right here and there. And as I mentioned before, the last fight is going to be the Killmonger. We're going to bring in Nick Fury. And it's not the perfect matchup, but since I still have the second life with Nick Fury, I figured how hard can it be, right? Well, it actually wasn't as kind of like easy or smooth as I thought it would be. Obviously, Siphon is an annoying node to deal with, plus this node has Limber, and plus all the other stuff, so I do need to be careful not to push this guy past like 3 bars of power. I also need to be careful when I'm finding my openings, because Limber gets tricky and it kind of like messes up your timing if you parry him on accident and he immediately goes into an attack. So there are a couple of things to worry about, but again, we have Nick Fury, we still have the second life, so it did mess up there a bit, didn't get punished too harshly for that. We have the reverberation activate periodically, and that also puts a dent in our health. But overall, first minute we have done 40% damage there, and I know for a fact that as soon as I trigger real Nick Fury and I get that Fury buff active, my damage is gonna go through the roof. So I'm not really kind of like too concerned. If anything, I'm trying to lose my life gradually, a bit on purpose, take some block hits if I have to, just to kind of make sure that I do dip into that second life and can finish out the fight in time, just in case Killmonger doesn't want to cooperate and doesn't want to throw a special attack or something. So once again, here we eat a couple of shots, a bit sloppy play, but we trigger real Nick Fury and the fight is about to be over. We dropped a light attack, level 1, I believe another combo or 2, and the fight is going to be done. So once again, huge shout out to everybody for Loki, Pandam and Pete, Dreamin, and Zygon, everybody else still warring for them. I know Brian isn't anymore. But hey guys, good war and good luck to you in the rest of the season. And that will be it for today. See ya!